Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. We're getting closer and closer to this. Donald Trump signed his executive order to start this process of creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And then tomorrow, a meeting of crypto executives like Michael Saylor are going to meet in Washington. But before I get into this video and explain what the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve is and why it's important, I just want to remind everyone that if you want to support me, you can do so by using my referral link at What Exchange. So trade.what.exchange. And What Exchange is a DeFi futures platform. So if you wanted to buy Bitcoin and you want to do so with leverage, you can do it on What Exchange. Don't forget to use my referral code AlphaStack. So thank you for listening to that spiel. Let's begin. And like I said, this week, tomorrow, Michael Saylor and other crypto execs are going to be going to Washington, and they're going to discuss the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. Okay, and in this video, I wanted to explain what is that and also why it's important. So essentially, to get going, a strategic reserve is a stockpile. It is a pile of something that a government has usually for emergencies. Okay, so right now, these are kind of examples of things that the United States stockpiles. So they stockpile grain, right? So like it says, to ensure food security, stabilize grain markets, whatever. This means if there's a war and we need food, then we have a big pile of grain to eat. Same thing with cheese, right? And it's not just to eat, this is also stabilize prices, because if, for example, there's a shortage of cheese or an overflow of cheese, then it's going to hurt people in the cheese industry or dairy farmers, whatever. Same thing with gold, right? So you can't eat gold, but gold is there to ensure economic stability. And this is a similar, gold and Bitcoin act in a similar way, where you can't eat Bitcoin, you can't eat gold, but by stockpiling it, you essentially assure the economic stability of a country. Because if we're going to print fiat money, it needs to be, the money has value because people will trust in the country. And so if we have a giant pile of gold, giant pile of Bitcoin, then people have more trust. And that's what's iterated here. Right, so right now there's a lot of inflation happening around the world, including United States. And what inflation is the value of the fiat currency slowly melting away. And the idea of a strategic Bitcoin reserve, like I just said, is to be a hedge against inflation and monetary instability, much like gold has been historically. So that's what I just said. So this is the actual bill here. It was put forth by Senator Lumis, and this is her face here. This is Senator Lumis, and this is her bill. And it's actually quite a simple bill. If you're interested in this, I recommend actually reading it. Here is the link if you want to read it yourself. It goes into things like how are we going to buy it, how are we going to store it. The thing I wanted to point out here is actually the way that this one, the Bitcoin purchase program, because this is quite interesting. So it says purchase not more than 200,000 Bitcoin per year over a 5-year period. Total acquisition 1 million Bitcoin. And there's a reason why they did this. So 1 million Bitcoin is about 5% of the total Bitcoin supply. And the Bitcoin supply is capped, as you probably know, at 21 million. So if we have 1 million Bitcoin, it's just about 5%. And the reason why this 5% number is important is because that's how much gold the United States has. The amount of gold that the United States has stockpiled is about 5% of the total gold supply. So this would mirror that. It also says that the United States will purchase these in a transparent and strategic manner to minimize market disruption. So probably announce that they're going to buy it, the market can correct, and then they'll buy it. The other thing here that I can't find, but it's in here somewhere, is that the way it needs to be a balanced purchase. I forget there's actually a phrase they use, but essentially it needs to be, they cannot spend the taxpayers' money to buy this Bitcoin. It has to be in a balanced method. This is the term I was looking for, a budget neutral strategy. And I found this in the executive order from Donald Trump, essentially his kind of notes on what he plans to do. So this is important, a budget neutral strategy. And the reason why this is important is if we're going to buy Bitcoin, if the United States is going to buy Bitcoin and stockpile it, it needs to be done in a way that doesn't spend the taxpayers' money. And the question is, how can you do that? Where's this money going to come from? Well, there's actually quite a simple solution to that. And that is, we already have a stockpile of gold, okay? The thing about this stockpile of gold is that its pricing is way out of whack. So essentially we have, where is it? Right here. Right here. The US Treasury values its gold at 42.22 an ounce, which is a price set in 1973. And we hold a whole bunch of it. But notice that this is the value of an ounce, 42.22, okay? And if I show you the current price of gold, there we go. So the current price of gold is 3,691. So completely different. And the idea is that we can essentially adjust this number, which means we have more value of gold, okay? And the question might be is, okay, does that mean we're going to sell gold? Well, no, they have some sort of smart way to make money from this without actually selling it. So what they would do is they would sell it to the Treasury. The Treasury would then send it back, and that money would allow them to have more money, I guess. Like it says, no gold physically moves. The Treasury ends up with a significant amount of newly created funds. So some financial magic, and then with that new money that they've created out of nothingness, they can buy this Bitcoin over the next 5 years. And I wanted to wrap up this video by, oh, I can't show you this chart. I wanted to wrap up this video by showing you the current Bitcoin price. This is, I thought this chart was funny. This is essentially in, I think, 1 year periods or something like that. So starting 2021. Okay, but essentially Bitcoin is straight up. But if I zoom in a little bit closer, let's do something like 4 hours. You can see that we had the all-time high around right here. This was August 15th, something like that. It was almost 125,000, and we're significantly under that. The reason why I'm showing this is that I think that this chart is going to drastically change if the United States opens up a strategic reserve. And the reason is because it's not just the United States opening up a strategic reserve, but essentially if America does it, many other countries are going to do it as well. Okay, and what that's going to mean is then these countries are going to have to start buying on this chart, which is going to increase the price. So, long story short, you should buy some Bitcoin. And if you do, please use my referral code and do it at Watt Exchange. So I hope you liked the video. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.